environment inside of Solid Edge gives us the ability to craft complex geometry and intricate organic shapes found in our everyday lives that are not easily modeled with traditional methods. By using stylized shapes that can be subdivided for greater levels of detail and control, we will create a razor based on a few sketches that we see here. We'll start out by creating a simple sphere at the origin of the part file. By selecting edges, vertices, or faces of the cage, we can easily begin to make the edits to our shape. Here, we'll elongate the sphere by pulling opposing faces. To add greater control over the shape, we'll use the split command to add additional edges and vertices to the cage. We can move the segments to a precise location if needed. The scale command can be used to change the size of a face or body in 1, 2, or 3 dimensions, with the origin being controlled by the triad location. Now, by using the X key on the keyboard, we can ensure that we are scaling in the correct direction and then make our edit to both ends of the model. Now, after we've scaled the faces, we can then go ahead and make a few adjustments to the model using a familiar tool, the steering wheel. Now, to create the neck of the handle, we'll use a move operation to lift up a cage face. The lift option adds faces to the model, leaving existing faces in their current positions and orientations as we move the selected elements. The segment box on the command bar allows us to define how many faces we want to add to the model as we lift. To adjust the size of the neck, we'll go ahead and use the scale command and make our edits in one direction at a time. Next, we want to add some detail to the back portion of the handle. To do this, we'll use a combination of techniques we have previously explored, including a lift and scale. We can then go ahead and push this face back down to be level with the existing geometry. Now, by splitting the newly created face into 9 smaller faces, we have greater control over how the finished model will look. Using the tip option when making a move forces the connected faces to extend, trim, or change orientation, resulting in the bump shape that we desire here. By using the blend command, edges of a subdivision model can be sharpened or smoothed depending on the weight value that's applied. We want to maintain a smooth look to the model, so we'll apply a value of 3 here. Multiple bodies can be created in one instance of a subdivision feature. So to create the head of the razor, we'll add in a basic torus shape. The number of major and minor segments, as well as major and minor diameters, can all be defined for this shape. We can then move the body to line up more closely with the background sketches. We can even use the steering wheel to rotate the model and change its orientation. A few quick selections of the cage and edits with the steering wheel, and our model is looking pretty good so far. Next up are the arms that hold the razor blades. Now let's start by creating another torus. This time we'll increase the number of major segments and decrease our minor diameter slightly. As we did before, we'll use the steering wheel to move and rotate the torus into position. Another option that's available with subdivision modeling is symmetric mode. When creating a model that has symmetry, we can start symmetry mode and work on one side of the model, letting Solid Edge mirror the modifications to the other side. We can remove geometry by simply selecting any faces we want and pressing the Delete key on the keyboard. In this case, we'll delete a few segments to shorten up the arms to the necessary length. Now, to be able to make this a solid model later, we need to ensure that all of our subdivision geometry is fully enclosed. Here we can do that with the Fill command. We'll simply select the edges that make up the open faces to close them in. To smooth out the model, we'll blend the newly created faces. If we're ever unsure of what blend values we've used, or if we want to make sure we're being consistent with blends on the rest of the model, we can use the Show Blend Values command. Based on the shape of each value, we can easily distinguish whether it is an edge or a vertex and the blend value that has been applied. If we switch to a front view, we can make a few minor adjustments to ensure that we line up with the background sketches. The last shape we'll create is a box, which will represent the blades of the razor. Like our other shapes, we'll start this at the origin, and then we'll move it in position using the steering wheel. We'll finish it up by making a few fine adjustments to get the look that we want. Now that we're done creating geometry, we can stop symmetry mode and close out of the subdivision modeling environment. Let's switch into the ordered environment and then toggle the subdivision bodies into design bodies. While we could have done everything in the ordered environment to begin with, I thought it was important to show you that subdivision modeling is available in synchronous as well, which ultimately gives you the freedom to work the way you want. To create one solid body, we can use the Union command and select the 4 separate design bodies. To finish things off, we'll use the Round command and add a few blends between the arms and the razor blades. Now, adding a few more features and refining the shape of our model results in the completed razor that we see here. So whether you're an expert or inexperienced with CAD software, subdivision modeling makes it easy to develop high-quality advanced shapes all within the solid edge environment and with no data conversion required.